Peptides are powerful and often misunderstood.
And we're here to change that.
I'm Dr. Kylie Burton.
And I'm Jessica Bricky.
This is Pep Talk. Peptides Unpacked. Science made simple, results made real. Libido. That's the name of today's episode. Why? Because there is a peptide that will just change your life. Whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. PT141. Have you ever heard of it? Well, if you haven't, definitely listen in because we've got Valentine's Day around the corner, and this just might give you that extra spark you need to make this year extra special. All right, Jess, PT141 and libido.
Holy moly. So I think that when people start talking peptides or things that we're going to put into our body, the first thing that comes to mind is the little blue pill. And our body is gonna respond, and it's just for men, it's gonna respond in that way, which by the way, women can do too. We only talk about men and their needs. But in this particular case, we're talking about a really exciting peptide that is not geared towards blood flow, but is geared towards what's happening in our brain. I think that a lot of women go through menopause and experience low libido. I think it's probably pretty common. I'd say probably um, most women I know my age could care less if they're in the bedroom with their spouse ever again. Like that's literally, it's like dead. They feel nothing. This peptide we're talking about, PT141, is kind of like, hey, I like my spouse again. I like you. Let's see what happens. It's a brain thing. Years ago, I was Oprah was big with her thing, and she had on Demi Moore and Bruce Willis. Remember way back in the day when they were married? And there was a part where they were talking, and Demi said something like, some days you just wake up and you look at your partner and you go, yuck. And that had to have been like 25 years ago that I heard that. I don't even know. Like, time is weird, so I have no idea how long ago they were married and when that interview happened. Could be longer for all I know. And it always stuck with me because at the time, my husband and I were young, newly married, and I could not even imagine a time when I wasn't hot for my husband, like raring to go. Fast forward, my husband and I are going to be celebrating 30 years of marriage this year. And I don't know that I would say that I look at my husband some days and go, yuck. But there are days that I go, whatever. And how sad is that? Because, you miss that intimacy and you take it for granted when you're young or when you're first together. And our brains are meant for procreate, like we're wired for procreation scientifically, right? We are
Yes.
meant for a male and female to get together and procreate. And that ultimately to reproduce life. And that ultimately is how our bodies work. So when we're younger, we have things within us that give us that attraction that make us want to mate. And then as we age or we have stress and hormones change, that signaling in our brain changes. And now we become more nurturers. We got to take care of business. And it becomes less about what happens in the bedroom now, more about taking care of life. But most of us really enjoy what happens in the bedroom. But how do you get back there if you don't care? Like
The spark. How
literally
do you
don't care.
bring the
That's
spark back?
how do you bring the spark back? And I'm not a sexual wellness expert, but I can tell you that in the 30 something years in my office, this is a conversation that comes up that are no longer having intimacy with their partner the way that they used to. And we it's normal. Everybody's doing that. They're no longer interested. So now there's a peptide. And it's not a peptide that you take and 20 minutes later you're raring to go. It's something that you take maybe in the afternoon when you think maybe tonight's the night or whatever the timing is. Like it's a window, like 2 to 6 hours, something like that. that starts signaling your brain to say, oh, I like that person. That yuck is gone. I'm interested. And it increases sexual motivation, like the drive to want to have sex again, the increase in libido, and our response, the arousal. So it's all this brain signaling and it's happening, which is different from that little blue pill. It is
Yeah.
not a daily peptide. It is a couple times a week that you would use it. It's not recommended for daily use, and it's literally saving marriages, changing relationships, creating connectivity that you didn't think you were going to have again in your life. And Ellie's doing it right because we are celebrating Valentine's big
In
this year.
style. So before we jump into this celebratory this month on February 4th when it drops, um, I'm 36, very different age group than your menopausal age group, which you're like, oh, I'm getting so much things to look forward to. Thank heavens we have the PT 141. But for my age group, it's postpartum. You know, for me, my libido's through the roof during pregnancy. And then it's like after pregnancy, the crash
Yeah.
happens. And my husband's always like, can we just go back to your pregnancy days without all the pregnancy components? Like, he's 40 years old. His testosterone is so freaking high. I don't even, maybe we have something to bring his down. But I've had conversations with friends, I've had conversations with colleagues at conferences where it's like, we haven't had sex in 3 years or 6 months. And I just look at them like, wait, what? You not have the drive? You like, where's your libido gone? Like, that's crazy to me. And it's reality for a lot of people. So I love how this is an option and you can do it in secrecy. It comes in, maybe it comes in a box that's secret. I don't know.
Well, it's shipped like any other peptide. It's going to be shipped in cold pack conditions. Nobody's going to see it. But I think what you're getting at too is that when somebody places an order, when they go in and we refer them to the telemedicine company, when they go in, they place an order because of HIPAA laws, we're never going to see what it is. You and I, or whomever you're working with, never going to know that you are ordering something for what's happening in your bedroom and needing support that way. So that's protected. And then it comes in a cold pack. And even honestly, if the mail person or your kids got the mail and they open a peptide and it says PT141, they don't know what that's for.
I don't know. Even if they're teenagers, they have no idea what
Right.
it's
They
for.
don't know what that's for.
Yes. Um, so let's talk about this. February 4th is when it's going to go live. There
Hmm.
are 5,000 available. Valentine's Day can be a rough one. It was once for me in my college days. My parents would always send me flowers because they knew how much I hated the day. And I would usually spend like the whole day in the library or something, just distracting myself from the singleness of my life. Seemed to always be the case until Andrew came along because I only dated one person before I met Andrew. Um, I always said I dated a volleyball, and that was good enough for me because it did exactly what I told it to do. So I know Valentine's Days can be rough. I also know that there are relationships in rough situations, and having a little bit of drive, a little bit of that activator happening in the brain, providing the libido, the spark, as we'll call it, can really, really help. And it can probably change the tide of relationships, as you've mentioned before. So tell us what's going down on February 4th. And I want you guys to know it's February 4th. And there are
Yeah.
only 5,000 available. So you need to act as soon as you possibly can after the 4th.
Yep. So Ellie has not only the PT141 that we were talking about, but they have something else. It's called the Thrill Pill, and it's a lozenge. It's a troche, but it's really a lozenge that you put in your mouth. And this it works differently than the PT141. This is something that you would take close to the time that you think that you want to be intimate. And it has not only a little bit of PT141 in it, it also has some oxytocin and it has tadalafil in it. And that is going to, for men and for women, get you ready to roll. But next week, we are going to have that available as a nasal spray. So that's going to come out as a nasal spray. And along with anybody that orders, the first 5,000 people that decide that they want to give this a whirl, the owner of the company thought it was a really good idea to give a Valentine's gift for those 5,000 people in the form of the TikTok viral Rosebud personal massager. And I didn't know what that was. So last night I went down the TikTok rabbit hole.
TikTok road.
Holy moly. Let me just say, if you're listening to this right now and you don't know what I'm talking about, I would say go on TikTok and put in Rosebud personal massager or TikTok viral rose. Google it, whatever. It'll bring you into all these people that are talking about their experience, what it is, what it does, how you use it. And you are going to want to be one of those 5,000 people that are on board. Whether you're a woman and you want it for yourself, or you're a man and you want it for your partner, this is pretty freaking cool. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah. So to get the rose gift, do they
hmm
have to buy the nasal version
Yeah,
of?
I believe so. I don't know, as the time of this recording, I don't know that we have officially um, and see if we did put in the details of what it is. But what was told to me last night on our call, it's the spray purchase, which is the new thing we're launching next week of the Thrill Pill. And that's going to come with this personal massager, this Rosebud viral massager.
Okay.
Just pulling that up right now.
So if you
See
need
if
a
I have it.
extra spark, whether it be on Valentine's Day and days afterwards, I'm thinking like you take it before date night, before you go out for date night, and then when you come back for date night, you've got the spark rolling.
Yeah, I don't have, I must have gotten rid of the email, so I don't have it right in front of me. But it is something that you would use on the spray or the lozenge. You would do that right before, that's because it happens pretty darn quick.
Okay.
And the PT141, that is something that you would take date night day, like afternoon. Maybe you're a morning person, so you're gonna maybe get up early and take it. If you're a morning person, if you're a afternoon delight person, you're gonna take it in the morning. If you're an evening person, you're gonna do it that you're gonna do that injection in the afternoon, because that PT141 injection, 2 to 4 hours before your brain signally starts saying, "Hey, I'm interested," and then the lozenge or the spray, that's going to be something that you do right before you're ready to get going.
Okay. Libido fixer upper.
Love
PT141, the
it.
thrill pill, and the spray, whatever they end up naming it. Go grab it. The gift is available February 4th for the first 5,000 who purchase the spray. So give yourself an extra Valentine's Day gift. Recommend it to a friend if you know of somebody who could use a libido booster and get that spark back in their relationship, and get a whirlwind. All right, Jess, where can they find you?
You can always follow me on Instagram. I am JessB_LMT_NC. You can also come on board with me and get your peptides or start a business with me, anything you want to do. And you're going to find me at b2bwithjess.com/peptides.
If you're not from Jess, go to my page, drkylieburton.com/peptides. And you can get started there. All right, go grab your spark and let us know
Have
how it
fun.
goes if you would like to, or you can do this in secret. Totally fine too. Secrecy is probably what 99% of people are going to do. Go for it, and you can thank us later. Thank you for joining us. Until next
I
time.
can't wait to hear that.